Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Here in this video, we are going to be going over all of your data, news, and information you need to know on AMC stock. Now, not all hope is lost, but following AMC's earnings, it was a bit of a disappointing scenario. And I'll explain why that is and what kind of effect this could have on Tesla stock. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section, and let's get started with just that. First things first, AMC earnings. How it was a disappointment is it really wasn't a disappointment in terms of revenue, in terms of EPS, and other different metrics. AMC beat across the board. Now, that's not the biggest thing that moves stocks. The biggest thing that moves stocks is one, expectations. If expectations are high, super high, really nothing that a company can say, generally speaking, can get the stock to go higher. I would say AMC's expectations were kind of high, not too high. But Adam Aron really hyped up the earnings call as if we were going to get new information. We did not get new information. If anything, we got confirmation that we have the same old AMC that is going to raise more capital and sell more stock at these very low prices. That, just the simplest way to put it, puts no pressure on shorts to cover on their short positions. If anything, it actually encourages shorts to take on new short positions. Because why the hell would you not? If you know you're going to dilute, if AMC is going to dilute shareholders, you should take on short positions. That's the smart thing to do. Now, markets were starting to, I think, expect a period of time where we will not see dilution. That was actually my expectation as well. I was very vocal on that, and I was wrong. That did not happen. It just really makes you question AMC's management, because if they're not going to give you a commitment not to dilute shareholders, it's hard to kind of envision AMC stock going materially higher from here, like $10 per share. That's not going to happen unless we get some kind of big new information that none of us are forecasting, which doesn't look obvious. Or, as long as if we got a commitment not to dilute shareholders, that would have happened. But, I mean, that didn't happen last earnings. So you're in a very weird spot where AMC's depressed. The stock is depressed, and that's because of this dilution. It looks like we're going to get more dilution, but AMC can't really dilute shareholders at these lower prices because there's no point at all in doing that, because you just further nuke the stock and you don't raise any capital. I think Adam Aron was expecting just to get up there and kind of blame this or blame that, and AMC stock would rise. That did not happen. Adam Aron failed. He failed to live up to the hype that he was talking about on the earnings call. Personally, I believe we need a new CEO, someone that can actually get stuff done and create shareholder value. Shareholder value will translate into value for AMC. A higher stock price means AMC can actually sell stock and raise a significant amount of capital and make a difference to their overall debt. That's not going to happen. Right now, I mean, there's not enough value in actually selling stock in AMC just based on where the current share price is of AMC. So that's a little bit of a problem, a little bit of a disappointment on the earnings, and it doesn't really look like fundamentally the business is going to be doing much of anything for a while. Now, I think with that being said, you did get a potential risk catalyst out of the way. Now, it seems like at some point here, probably not so in the distant future, we could get more dilution. Some people were speculating that we could actually get dilution the day after AMC earnings. That did not happen. AMC stock fell 13.5%. Now, if AMC stock would have rallied into the $6 or $7 range, maybe we would have gotten dilution the next day. But indeed, that did not happen. But then the day after earnings, AMC stock was actually green 1%, which is pretty abnormal for AMC. Typically, if AMC is red on earnings, you tend to kind of follow through with a couple just bad days back to back, like last earnings, for an example. You dropped 13.68%, almost the same as we just dropped this earnings. And then you fell 8%, another 1.5%, bounced 2%, fell 2.5%, fell 6.5%, bounced a half of 1%, fell 3.5%, fell 7%, right? You get a little bounce, you fall some more. That's kind of what tends to happen following AMC earnings. the trend has definitely shifted a little bit to the upside. So you're a little bit more bullish now than you have been in a while. The big level you want to be watching for is this 50-day moving average at $4.79 per share. The day before earnings was the first day you actually closed above that, and AMC stock hit a high of $5.10 per share. Now, you got rejected the next day, you gapped lower than that, and now you're kind of just trading right here. In between kind of falling back down into the $3 range, AMC stock at $4.34 per share, or breaking above that 50-day moving average. Now, I think one thing that maybe I don't even give AMC stock enough credit for, and it really has nothing to do with AMC in general, but as we get closer to rates actually going lower, you could start to see AMC stock perform a little bit better. And maybe that's what's been happening as of the last couple of weeks here. I can also make an argument that on March 12th, if ARM stock does fall based on the lockup period that is expiring, and you see AI stocks kind of gives back some of their gains, that could allow a lot of market cap value to make its way into other areas of our markets. Maybe an AMC, maybe a Tesla, maybe a Fubo, maybe a PayPal, right? The different areas of our markets. As we get closer to the first interest rate cut, which as of right now looks still down the ways quite a bit, you could see AMC stock start to perform a little bit better and maybe some money go into AMC. Although I'm not expecting a bunch of money to go into AMC because, I mean, the situation still just doesn't look great. But rates definitely falling can fundamentally have an impact positively to AMC stock because, I mean, maybe that allows them to refinance their debt, extend out debt, maturities, and that overall could be positive. We have $3 billion of debt coming due in 2026. That's a huge problem for AMC as of right now. Now, currently, we're not even pricing in the first cut until June. Typically, the markets like to price this in about 3 months ahead of time. So if we're expecting the first cut June 12th, and today is, well, March 2nd, as I'm making this video, you're now in March. Maybe the markets do start to forecast that first cut a little bit more. Maybe that starts to get priced into AMC stock a little bit more. So that's something that could have a positive impact to AMC, but not exactly something I am betting on. But would that be a positive outcome? I'm sure it would have some kind of positive effect. But I think anytime now, if Adam Aaron really wakes up and sees the sunshine, he will say, hey guys, we're not going to dilute shareholders for a period of time. That's when I think the big trade can actually happen. I think AMC stock could probably rally 50% in a single day if that were to happen. And why do I think that? Well, pretty simple. Even your analyst, their price targets are way higher than where AMC is right now. AMC Entertainment given a new $8 price target at B. Riley Securities. That would still be like 86% upside from here or something along those lines. So that would be significantly higher from here. Now, Wedbush also reissued a neutral rating and a $6 price target on shares of AMC Entertainment in a report on Friday. So $6 price target, $8 price target. This was actually a reduction from a $12 price target that B. Riley Securities had before. And now it's only $8 per share, but that's still a lot higher than where we are today. Now, Macquarie just cut its price target on AMC Entertainment as well. They cut their price target from $5 to $4 per share and gave the stock an underperform rating. And that's pretty much where we are right now. It's kind of funny. Analysts like to chase things on the upside and the downside. When a stock's going higher, everyone rushes to raise price targets. When a stock's going lower, seems like everyone rushes to lower those price targets as well. So again, over the near term, maybe you start to get some of those interest rate cuts getting priced into the markets like an AMC, and maybe that it does have a positive effect to the stock, but I'm really not expecting much until we get new information, until we get another round of dilution, until we get a commitment not to dilute shareholders, something, okay? That's when I do believe AMC stock can start to perform a lot better, but probably not until that happens. Now, good news is you have short interest percentage of free flow at 12.59%, $136.09 million worth of short positions currently in AMC. Days to cover 1.87, 31.5 million shares that are currently sold short. Shares out on loan, 35.11 million. Cost to borrow, 1.06%. Utilization of 56.83% and a short score of 65.71 out of 100. Cost to borrow max at about 1.25%. So, not a huge amount of shorting activity taking place in AMC as per what it looks like here. Now, last Friday, you did have volume, almost 71% to the call side and 29% to the put side. So retail just continues to plow their money into call options. Doesn't exactly look like a good idea in my personal opinion as of right now. We just really don't have a catalyst to push us higher. Sure, could there be a catalyst? Could something happen? Of course, but I think buying options on AMC just waiting for something is probably not a good idea because it sounded like we were going to get some dilution at least at some point here over the next couple of weeks on the earnings call. So we'll see. Last week, you had a lot of options expire out the money on the call side, about 111,000, 3,500 puts calls expired in the money, puts out the money at about 19,000, and puts out the money at about 29,000. I think I said puts out the money twice. Puts in the money about 20,000. So quite a bit of option activity last week. Unfortunately, it did not go the way the bulls would have liked. Now, next week, you got about 1,600 calls currently in the money and 35,000 calls out the money. In the money puts at about 9,100. Out the money puts at about 19,000. So not as much option activity for this upcoming week. But the week after that, the week of March 15th, you have 4,300 calls currently in the money, 235,000 calls out the money. In the money puts at about 30,000, out the money puts at about 109,000. So that's when there's going to be a lot of option activity. And interestingly enough, that is the week of the March 12th lockup period for ARM, as well as March 12th, you will get CPI. Now, there will be big events coming next week as well that will also be important, very important for our markets. So we'll have to see what happens there. If we take a look here on StockTwits, you do have sentiment that is a little bit better than yesterday at 50. Yesterday it was at 41, so you went from bearish to neutral. Message volume going from 55 to 43, pretty normal on a Saturday. And the participation ratio is at 54, which is pretty much the same as yesterday as well. That is normal. Decent amount of people overall talking about AMC stock. So there you have it on a technical basis. Again, I don't really think there's a floor here. I think it really depends on just what Adam Aron does if we get more dilution. As far as the upside, that 50-day moving average is the level to be watching for. The RSI, pretty neutral overall at 45. Slightly on the lower side, but in between 45 and 55 is pretty neutral in my personal opinion. So nothing to really speak about there. And if you look at the MACD, the MACD is still slightly negative. You're almost going positive, like really, really close to going positive. Maybe that gives us more of an upside momentum biased, but I'm not convinced of that, let's say. And I think that'll just take some time to see if that actually does happen, if that does bring more money into AMC, at least trading money. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.